Hello my dear students, welcome to GEMS Cambridge International School Batala. I welcome you all in the history class. In this video we will discuss our first chapter, that is medieval world. But before jumping to the main topics of the chapter, we will look upon the meaning of history. History is the study of past events, particularly in human affairs. It is continuous, typically chronological record of important events. It is divided into three periods. Let's have a look upon its division. It is divided into three periods, namely the ancient period, the middle or the medieval period, and the last we have is the modern period. In the last grades, you have already learnt about the ancient period, but now you will learn about the medieval world in this video. Let's have a look upon the meaning of medieval world. It is the period that lies between ancient and the modern periods of history is known as medieval period. It is also called as middle period. Medieval period stretched from the beginning of 8th century to the end of 18th century. Each period covers many centuries and one century has 100 years. So medieval period in India covers about 1000 years. With the beginning of this period, there was a beginning of society, economy, polity, culture and religion. For the better understanding of this period, historians has divided it into two parts. The very first part we have is the early medieval period and second late medieval period. The early medieval period stretched from 8th century to the 13th century. The Palas, the Rashtrakutas, the Pratiharas, the Cholas and the Rajputs were the powerful ruling dynasties during this period. The late medieval period stretched from 13th century to 18th century. It covers the rule of Turks, Afghans and Mughals. They were the foreign invaders. Foreign invaders means an army that uses force to enter or take control of another country. They ruled in India during this period. Now we will learn about the many names of India. Our country is commonly referred to as Bharat, India or Hindustan, but India was known by different names at different points in the history. It was referred to as Bharat, Bharatvarsha, Jambudvipa, Aryavarta, I-Hind, Hind. Bharatvarsha and Jambudvipa are the two of the earliest names by which our country was known in the ancient times. In the medieval period, the rulers in the Delhi Sultanate and Mughals called their dominion Hindustan. Minhaj-i-Siraz, a chronicler, used the word Hindustan to describe the areas of Punjab, Haryana and the lands between Ganga, Yamuna under the Delhi Sultanate. The Babur, the first Mughal emperor, used the word Hindustan to describe the natural vegetation and geography of the subcontinent. It was only the 19th century during which the British Raj that Hindustan was referred with another term called as India. There were many major developments that take place during this period. The first we have was the coming of the Muslims led to the interaction between North India and South India as well as between Hindus and Muslims. The coming of Muslims also helped in the growth of mixed culture. Trade activity was increased along with the rapid growth of towns and cities that led to greater interaction with other parts of the world. There was increase in temple building activity in the medieval India. During this period, Islam spread in India. The Bhakti and Sufi movements spread the message of devotion to God and the kindness towards all human beings. For better understanding of this period, we have the sources which provide us information, and it is broadly divided into two categories. The first we have is the archaeological sources and the second is literary sources. Archaeological sources. These sources include monuments, coins, inscriptions, artifacts. The first source we have monuments. It includes temples, mosques, tombs, forts, palaces. During this period, a large number of monuments were built. These monuments tell us about the engineering and the architectural styles of that times. The next source we have are the coins. Coins were issued by almost all the rulers of the medieval period. These coins were made up of different metals like gold, silver, copper. Coins gives the name of the rulers who issued them and the date of their issue, and also provide the information regarding the political events and also help to understand the economical condition of the kingdom. The study of coins is called numismatics, and the person who studies the coins is known as numismatist. Inscriptions. They are another valuable sources that are writing engraved on hard surfaces such as stone, tablets, pillars, metal plates, etc. They give us the information about the names of the kings, their extent of the empire and their victories in battle, etc. The study of inscriptions is called epigraphy, and the person who studies inscriptions is known as epigraphist. The next source we have artifacts. Artifacts are the man-made objects. They include tools and weapons, ornaments, pottery, seals, utensils. They tell us about the kind of people lived, their occupations and the social setup. The next source we have the most valuable source called paintings. They tell us about the customs, food habits, dress, jewelry of the people of that period. Many styles of miniature paintings were evolved during this period. The next category of the source is called literary sources. They refer to the written records of the past. A number of written records are available in this period. Paper was introduced around the 13th century in India, and it became more common and cheaper. The records written in medieval period were preserved in library and archive. Archive is a place where the historical records and documents are stored. In the medieval period, there was no printing press, so scribes were copied document by their hand. Do you know who were scribes during that period? Scribes were people who were employed to keep records. They made copies of original documents. Literary sources. One by one we read about. First we have chronicles. Chronicles are the records of the rule of kings and the life of the court. A person who wrote chronicles is known as chronicler. Most of the kings have court chronicles who wrote in detail about what happened during their region. Some of important include Raja Tarangani, written by Kalhana. It tells us about the history of Kashmir of kings. Next we have Tariq-i-Firoz Shahi, written by Uddin Barani. Describes the history of sultans till the region of Firoz Shah Tughlaq. Tughlaqnama, written by Amir Khusrau, tells about the region of Khaljis and Tughlaqs. Autobiographies. Autobiographies are stories of people's life written by that person. Some of important autobiographies include Futuhat-i-Firoz Shahi, written by Firoz Shah, Babar-Nama, written by Babur, Tuzuk-i-Jahangir, written by Empress Jahangir. Biographies. These are the stories of people's life written by someone else. Some of important biographies include Prithviraj Raso, written by Chand Bardai, describes the life and the adventure of Chauhan ruler, that is Prithviraj Chauhan. Humayun Nama, written by Gulabdan Begum, tells us the information about the region of Mughal Emperor of Humayun. Akbarnama, written by Abul Fazl, describes the events of Emperor Akbar's region. Foreign travelers' account. Foreign travelers' account visited India during the medieval period. They wrote their journey and experiences in their accounts. Some of the foreign travelers' names include Al-Biruni from Central Asia, Ibn Battuta, Marco Polo, Niccolo Conti came from Italy, and Bernier came from France. These are the sources that helps a lot in reconstructing the history. With this, we end our chapter. Thank you.